Good evening, good people. Welcome to a Honey and Stag literary event that for me is like Christmas and New Year and birthday all rolled into one. Now, you know, if you've been with us before, how excited we get on Honey and Stag about championing authors, about hosting book launches. We're thrilled to do this kind of thing, but tonight is even more special. We have with us an author who, for many years, I have wanted to be able to read her work in English. And tonight, we can celebrate that that is the fact. So, everybody, please, would you welcome with me into the studio Solveig Pálsdóttir, all the way from Reykjavik, Iceland.
Hello, good to see you. Hi, Jackie.
Good evening, Solveig. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very, very well. You have no idea how excited I am to do this. Would you allow me just to share one little bit with the viewers to say 2 years ago, we talked about the possibility of your work ever being in English. It was over a coffee in a lovely coffee shop in Reykjavik. And here we are, 2 years later. Yeah,
Miracles do happen,
they
don't
do.
they?
They
Yeah,
really do.
yeah,
So
yeah.
tonight is a total moment of keep dreaming those dreams because they do become reality. But let me introduce you just one little bit more, Solveig, if that's okay. So we're here tonight to celebrate the publication in English of The Fox, translated by the most fabulous author translator Quentin Bates, and published by Corylus Books. Now, Solveig, since her first novel, The Actor in English, Leikarin in Icelandic, all her crime books have been shortlisted for the Blood Drop. Now, that's the Icelandic Crime Fiction Prize for anybody who doesn't know, culminating in her being awarded that honour for her fifth book and most recent crime novel in Icelandic, Shackles, or Fjötrar. And what it means is when an Icelandic crime author receives this award, they're then put forward as the national nomination for the prestigious Glass Key Award, the literature award given annually to a crime novel by an author from the Nordic countries. So an award-winning author of international renown, and we're just thrilled that we can celebrate your work finally in English. And for anybody out there who's not got their copy yet, just a quick promo moment to say there's a limited price drop this evening. Okay, if you've not got your copy yet, ebook 99p on Amazon, a perfect treat for Christmas. Get yourself a copy. You will not be disappointed. So, Solveig, hello there from Timmy. Hi, Timmy. Lovely to see you with us. Hi.
Thank you.
Solveig, for anybody who's not familiar, Casey Moy as well there in from Oxfordshire. Hi, Casey. Great to see you. Solveig, could you tell us your journey into becoming a writer for any of us who don't know you very well?
hmm You know, I have a background in the theater and in literature and in radio. I did radio programs for many years, and so I was not unfamiliar to writing
Mhm.
when I started to write, and that happened after many years of teaching, being a teacher in literature. I was started to really miss being in more creative area.
Mhm.
So I went on a course in creative writing, and it was a very good course. And the teacher had so much, he believed a lot in my work, after this course. So he was very inspiring. And I started to write my first book, The Actor, and it took around 2 years, with my work, working full time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I sent it to the biggest publisher in Iceland. And after, sending back and forth for some improvements and meetings and so on, I got published. So my first book got published with a very good publisher. So, and it did very well. So I was just very surprised. I I was not aiming to be a writer. That was just,
Mhm.
I was just creating in a new way.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
think, I had this background in the theater and then in literature. And then I had been a teacher for so many years that I had, I wasn't, I had a lot of experience. And then I was not very young, so I was also experienced in life,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing when you get to know, many fields and people of all kinds. It's a very good for a writer. It's good for a writer to, yeah, know a little bit about life.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
have that experience, and to be able to bring that to the pages as well. I think that,
exactly.
it's the advice that you have there. I think that is wonderful. Do you now do you now consider yourself a full-time writer?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Uh, oh, yeah, okay. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Since my first book was published 2012, it was The Actor. I can show it to you.
Oh, yes,
I
please do.
have it right here. Uh, Here. Ooh, like
Little
this.
bit, little bit.
Yeah.
Other way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my first one, and it's based on my experience from the theater and
Mhm.
from films. And it was published 2012, and since then, my sixth book just came out. So yeah, it's a full-time work, and then there are a lot of small things I need to do. uh, Being a writer, it takes
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. Yeah.
like like
Definitely.
like like do things like this. It all
Indeed.
takes time. Yeah, yeah. And
Indeed it
traveling,
does.
yeah, it does.
Indeed it does. I just want to say, Eileen Wharton is there, watching with us. Hi, Eileen, and she wishes you a happy launch day, Solveig. So that's wonderful. So glad you're there. And again, people who are watching, Michael Houlihan, hello from Canada. He loves your work. Michelle, sorry. She loves your work. Excellent. Great to have you with us, Michelle, from Canada. Fabulous. We've got a truly international evening. It's great. And if anybody else is there watching and you might have questions for Solveig, please do put them up. It's always great to share moments like this. We can't do this in real life, but we can join together and celebrate a fabulous author and their work, which is most important. So now, Solveig, with the Fox and your series as a whole, you bring to us a very interesting, um, police officer. I want to talk about him first and then move on to who the other person who I think is the main character of the Fox. But your character there, Guthgeir, yeah? Guthgeir
Yeah.
Franson. Yeah, why why a police procedural, and who is this man? Tell us about him.
He's a really normal guy. He's we have this stereotype of the Nordic noir policeman who drinks a lot and he's having really hard problems in his personal life, and he's he has almost yeah, he has some mental problems, and so on, so on and so on. When I first thought of Guðgeir as my main character, I was thinking about the opposite of all this. I wanted Guðgeir to be the guy next door, the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
door guy, just a regular guy who has made his way up in the police. He is clever. He's very bright, but he does not have too much education, and he lives in the beginning a very normal family life with his wife. She's a lawyer, so she's more educated than he is, and they have 2 children. And he is brought up in the west side of the country, uh, in the West Fjords, and the people that come from there, they have this strong mentality. Help me a little bit.
Mentality,
Mentality,
mentality.
yes,
Yeah.
a very strong character. These are strong people because it's a hard life in the Westfjords of Iceland.
Hmm.
So the people who have lived through the ages there, they are very strong. And yeah, um, and he's a very likable. He's a likable guy. But then, because of the first book did so well, I
Hmm.
kept on writing about him. And his life develops just like our lives,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the Birgir you meet in first book and the Birgir you meet in book number 6, 5, 4, 5 is a different, his life changes, and not he's not a different character, but uh, just like happens in just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same as in our lives,
yeah, yeah.
did we know that this would happen a year ago, that we would sit here
No,
unable to, I should be there in
you
the
should.
year. Yeah.
Yes, you should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we could be
totally.
doing this lounge uh, in a nice place, but now we are sitting at home. We didn't dream
We
of
didn't
this
know.
in our
Yeah.
wildest imagination. So the same with Guðgeir. Things that happens on the road, and yeah.
Do you, do you-
Do you get my meaning?
Totally, very, very
Okay,
much
great.
so. The
Yeah,
way that the character is developed and
yeah,
changed with
yes,
time.
yeah,
And but I wonder, in the years that you have been together, the time
yeah,
that you and Guðgeir have been together,
yeah.
do you like him more now than you did at the start? Or well, how do you feel about him now and what's happened to him?
I like him a
Yeah.
lot, and my sympathy is with him, even though he does sometimes not the right thing. It in one book it happens. It's not a very good thing. And in the Fox, he is living the consequences of what happened in the book,
Previously. Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change. My opinion on him in him does not change, because we all make our mistakes, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some are bigger than others,
Mhm.
and we are all human, and we make mistakes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I think in this book, in the Fox, what we see in this man is such a tenderness
yeah,
and the drive that is within him to do the right thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
He he always tries to do the right thing, even in previous books his wife Inga tries to go vegan, and he is trying too so hard, but he hates it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he is trying to keep up with all the things that she and his children
Mhm.
uh, you know are bringing into his life, all their
Yeah.
discovery.
The
Yeah.
all their discoveries, definitely,
Yes,
definitely.
yes, yes.
Just I'm just watching in the chat as well to say hi, Angie. It's great to see you here, and Leanne, you've made it. I'm so glad you're here, and sorry if there was difficulty there with the notification of the link, but you are here, and that is wonderful. And Eva's here. Oh, family reunion, brilliant. Hi, Eva, and yes, finally that launch of the Fox. Gillian Duff. Hi, Gillian. Happy publication day to Solvay. That is wonderful. It's great to see people with us. Thank you. Thank you. Now, um, yeah, Julie says, well, it's Leanne. Leanne in as Julie. Loved Good Guy's drive to do the right thing and his doggedness. Yeah, yeah. He is a good he's a good man. Yeah. Annie Doyle, Tanner Collins, lots of people in. Yes, I got dressed for Solvay. It's most important. Yeah, Annie, thank you for being here. Yeah. So, Solvay. But this book really, whilst Good Guy is here and he's doing his investigation, um, this book really, I think, is about someone else. Yeah, there is another character in this book. Will you talk to us about her, please?
Yeah. Satya.
Yeah,
Satya. Uh, it's the. I always have to say something in my books. I always have to have a meaning and an agenda.
yeah,
It's
an agenda, yeah,
agenda. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, I can't write without
mhm,
agenda.
yeah.
And this topic has been with me for many years. Uh, the uh, lack of connection and understanding between different cultures and between people from different, what you call it, layers of the
Yeah,
society.
different layers in society, stratas in society, yeah, yeah,
Because you know we are all the same. At the end, we have the same feelings, and
yeah.
we all have longings, and you know. And I got to know this family from Sri Lanka, and they are good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave this to me when I was writing The Fox, and
Ooh, wow, yeah.
I always kept it by the side of on my desk beside the computer, and I've been helping them a lot because, of course, they can read and write Sinhala, their alphabet,
They're among, yeah.
but they have been staying here in Iceland for like 10 or 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't understand our alphabet. It's so hard for them,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
have
yeah.
3 children, and everything is hard. You know, their son, he practiced football and he gets some message from his trainer, bring this with you, or you're going to go there, and blah blah blah, or through Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
through the internet,
Yeah.
and they are so handicapped because of that. This, and they are very clever people, but the only thing they can do here is cleaning
Woof.
work, housework. The man used to work for IKEA, but he got fired, and that was because of some misunderstanding. And the woman, she had a work cleaning at old folks home, a nursery home, where
Mhm.
my father stayed. He had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's where I got to know her and started to talk to her. And then I invited them to my home, and I've been in their home for many times. And she got fired from this nursing home because she misunderstood. Uh, she was going to visit Sri Lanka, and you don't go to Sri Lanka for 10 days, do you?
No.
She was away for, I think, like 6 or 8 weeks. And she thought it was okay, but her supervisor didn't think so.
No.
It was complete lack of,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, getting to, oh, what's the right word for it in English?
Just
This,
just a lack of understanding.
yes, and patient, and uh, to really listen. And
Yes.
then I had
Yes.
my brother-in-law for 17 years. He came from Indonesia. He was married to my oldest sister. She was much older now. She's no longer among us, but he's still living here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I experienced that. And then when I was writing and when I got this idea in my mind, I started to, uh, I really tried to get to know people from all over. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
met
Yeah.
a woman from Estonia.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And she had been living here for 7 or 8 years, I think. And she worked at a fish factory, and she was working all day. And then she sent the money back to her
Mm-hmm.
mother,
Mm-hmm.
who only had a very, very poor, she's old, didn't work anymore. And she had very, very poor income. And her income was only for heating because it gets so cold there. So I was thinking about all this and all this um, prejudge we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Prejudice. Prejudice.
Prejudice. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, all this. Thank you. Can you say that
Prejudice.
once again? Yeah.
Prejudice.
Yes. Imagine how life would be, how everything would be
Mm.
easier if we wouldn't, carry all this prejudice
Mm.
on
Yeah.
our shoulders. Yeah.
Very,
And
very, very much so. And I love the fact, Solveig, that those experiences in your life, that they motivated you
yeah.
to write the story around a character
Hmm.
whose experiences are very, very similar to the ones that you've recounted just
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
Um, and I wonder at this point it might be good if you've said that you'd do a reading for us, which is
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
while you get your page prepared, I just want to shout a few shout outs. Susie Aspley is with us. Lovely to see you, Susie. Yeah, yeah. Icelandic magic on UK shores. It's wonderful. And I think for anybody who was at Granite Noir at the beginning of the year, because it was one of the first festival, well, it was the first in the year and the last festival
Mhm.
of 2020. And I'm so glad that we were able to bring you and Oscar
Oh,
over and so
it's
many
wonderful.
people at the festival. Again, I hope they realize that now they can get the Fox and read it, which is great. Um, Wonderful. Michelle again, Michelle in Canada, she says, Solvi, big heart. Solvi is definitely a woman with a very big heart. Yeah. And then Casey's talking about her experience. She worked overseas in Bosnia with the UN
Oh.
with a long Icelandic name.
We have
Yeah,
long names. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And those different letters. Yeah, yeah. It's one of life's lovely linguistic challenges,
Yeah.
without a doubt. So, Solveig, will you read us? Oh, Angie, thank you, Angie. Yeah, and good guys, goodness shines through, without a doubt. Solveig, the floor is yours. I'm just going to love you and leave you for a little bit, and I'll be back when the reading's finished.
Thank you. It's the first chapter. The man sitting next to her had a friendly face. He was fair haired, his beard bushy but neat, and he held a paper coffee cup in one hand. His eyes went off went from the aircraft's window to the back of the seat in front and back again. It looked as he was trying to steer the flight out, just as she was. The turbulence started 10 minutes after takeoff. The aircraft jetted at first and then lurid as it lost height. Sorry.
That's all right, Sylvie, don't worry.
Yeah, the aircraft jetted, yeah, and lost height. Such his nuts at the man's hand, and hot coffee spilled over him. I'm so sorry, she said, letting go of his hand and transferring her grip to the seat's steel armrest. He took a serviette from the pocket of the seat and wiped off most of the spilled coffee. Did it burn you? She asked, mortified. I'll wash your shirt for you. It's all right, he said, with a mild, beautiful smile. He was a handsome man, but there wasn't much expression to be seen. His hair was cropped close at the sides, but thick on the top, and fringe flopped over his forehead. He looked at her with curiosity. You speak Icelandic? Just a little, she mumbled. That wasn't true, as she had a good command of the language, but often people failed to understand her because of her mouth. Right now, she hardly trusted herself to speak, not until she had solid ground under her feet again. Are you traveling alone? He asked, leaning towards her. She nodded cautiously, not sure that she was ready to shift even slightly in her seat. What takes you to the east at this time of year? He asked politely, without seeming to pry. Work, she gulped. Where? He asked. At a beauty salon? Really? He said with a note of surprise in his voice. In Hub? Okay.
Solveig,
Hi.
thank you for sharing your writing with us. It's so wonderful. As Casey Moyes has said, I can't imagine reading even my own words in another language. So it's, just to hear you.
Oh, you're too polite. Sorry. This was the dentist. I went to the dentist today. No.
No, honestly,
I
it
just
is
had
it is
trouble. Yeah,
it is so lovely to
sorry
hear
about that.
you share your work. It really is. Now, I just wonder, if we could consider the setting you've just mentioned, where Sanjay is headed to. So for many of us, when we think of uh, Icelandic noir, Nordic noir in Iceland, we think of Reykjavik. That's
Yeah,
what we're normally used to.
yeah,
But you decided to take us elsewhere for much of this novel.
yeah.
Where and why?
Oh, it's a long story. Uh, Hornafjörður, Hub, the
Hub.
small hub, the small
Mhm,
fishing village. It has only 1,000, like 1,500 people living there.
mhm.
And of course, there's no beauty salon. Saloon,
Salon, as you
no
say, yeah,
salon.
yeah.
There's only a hairdresser who does the whole thing or something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm not going to give up. No, no spoilers here,
No
but
spoilers, no
no,
spoilers, no.
but it's very isolated. And then she goes up to Lone.
Mhm.
It's a very isolated area with a magnificent landscape.
And
It's so
that's
strong.
on the front of the book, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I took this picture.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you see the mountain.
Yeah.
This is where the farm is, where she stays later on, where Sachi is.
Yeah.
And I took this picture. I was traveling through. I go there almost every year because I love this place. I stayed there as a child for 6 summers. And I got the idea of this uh, combination of, tying together the East
Hmm.
and the North, you know,
Yeah.
to put this woman there in this isolated place in the North. Because I was thinking of her because I had traveled to Asia and I got lost in a street,
Uh-huh.
in
Yeah.
some village. And I got this feeling of being lost in translation, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
So I did the opposite in my mind to put her there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I got the idea, I just took a long walk. I was walking like for 2 hours there and just thinking and talking to myself and talking to my phone and taking pictures. And this is the picture I took this day. And then the designer of the cover, he got so inspired by this story, he used it for,
Mm.
yeah, cover.
Again, oh, it's lovely. Comments from Eva, and from Leanne. Eva says it's so good to hear the story behind the story,
Mm,
and and Leanne says it's without fail my favorite cover of this year. No competition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the yeah. Oh, and Tana says you're reading. It's such a treat. It
mm,
really is. Yeah, to have you and your work here is wonderful. And
yeah.
and you know, the thought again of your experiences. I hope you didn't experience the same amount of darkness, though, that you make your character experience in this book.
No, no,
Good.
no.
Because just again to say to readers and viewers, if you like your crime fiction dark,
Hmm.
this really is. There's a great sense of menace, that isolation that's there. It is it's a fearsome ride that you take us on. Now, I have one more question before we have our second, even more exciting reading. Um, and what I wanted to know was a little bit about the folklore. Uh, that you bring both Icelandic and
Hmm.
then folklore, mystical ideas from the East as well, from
Yeah,
Sri
yeah,
Lanka.
yeah.
Um, how did you make the choice of what to include?
Just by sense, I think. Just, you know, like Iceland, Sri Lanka has a very strong tradition of folklore, and they are very spiritual.
Spiritual, yeah.
Yeah, spiritual, and Icelanders are too. And Sri Lanka is an island, and Iceland is an island, so it's a lot of similarity
Mm.
between these two places in the east and in the north. So, uh, like, yeah, for example, when Satya thinks that Selma, the old woman in the farm,
Mhm.
is making a sacrifice uh, with meat, that has a very strong impulse, strong, effects on her
Yes,
because
yes,
she's a Buddhist, and one of the rules of Buddhism is not to eat. They don't kill a living being, you know.
yes.
So uh, that makes her scared, it scares her. So,
Yes. Yes.
I was working with things like this, and then she has this. She has been practicing patient. It comes through her religion,
Mhm.
being. Uh, oh, the word is æðrulaus in Icelandic. Oh, I need Google Translate now.
What what what
It's
what do
just,
you do when you do that?
just æðrulaus is, just keep calm whatever happens. Keep your, keep your inner peace. It's you know, she's so different from the people over there. They don't have the same. They're like children on that level, in this matter,
Yeah.
comparing to her, because she has this inner peace
Yeah.
and this.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really need to Google
It's
this
all right.
just to.
Quentin has sent us a word as well, and Quentin's put the word rootless. So I wonder if it's that sense of,
Either lazy. It's just like,
yeah, not
uh,
being
uh,
fixed.
yeah, yeah. People who stop drinking, like in AA, they
Yeah.
they have to practice this. You know,
Okay.
God
Yeah.
give me, God
God give
give
me
me
it's strength. It's strength.
strength. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's not
Yeah.
strength, but
It's
yeah,
not
a little bit
strength
more.
or patience.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
It's all this. It's all
Yeah.
this in
And
one word.
self denial maybe. And
Not self-denial. No, no.
no.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think we got it.
I think, yeah. I think we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we're
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Totally.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Susie's mentioned maybe equilibrium, having balance. And
Ah,
yeah,
thank you. You have to write down this word for me. I need to,
yeah.
for
I
further
love this.
use.
People are writing in possible words: innocence, determination.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank.
Uh-huh.
I love the fact that we've got all these ideas coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Great.
people. This is wonderful.
Great.
So Solvi, I am so glad that you were able to bring this combination of East and North,
Mm-hmm.
whilst they may be so distant physically,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
those commonalities. Oh, yeah, Leanne, serenity as well. God grant
Yeah.
me the serenity
Yeah.
to accept
Yes.
the things I
Yes.
can't
Thank
change,
you.
change
Thank
the
you,
things
Leon.
that I
Thank
can.
you.
Yeah, Leanne, who's posing as Julie Wolfe, spot on. That's the
Great.
word.
That's the
Yes,
word. That's the
yeah,
word.
yeah.
When I started to write this book, I wasn't, I wasn't sure it would turn out to be a crime fiction.
Mm,
No, I was more thinking about symbolism. So there's a lot of that in the book.
very
Yeah,
much so.
yeah,
And Solvi, I would say thank you, because we probably wouldn't have had the possibility of reading it had it not been a crime fiction book, because with
yeah,
crime fiction being so popular,
yeah, yeah.
but those ideas that you bring sing out clearly from the page.
Great, great.
So speaking of singing clearly from the page, we're going to ask you now, and I'm sure people are really waiting for this. We're going to ask you to read for us, but in Icelandic, so that we
Okay.
get to hear your original words. And then we have a special guest who will come on. And for
Yeah,
those of us who don't speak or understand Icelandic, we'll have the English translation. So I'm just going to dip out for now, Solveig, and enjoy the read. Is that okay?
yeah. Fine. Thank you. It's from the 18th chapter. 23. mars. Bröttuskriður. Rúmið sveigðist í stóran boga, fettist og teygðist eins og þunnt gúmmí. Líkaminn þaninn eins og spenntur bogi, þar til að rúmið varð að djúpum dal. Hún misti tengslin og hrapaði langt niður, djúpt niður í myrkrið sem ófst líkama hennar. Satche var lokuð inn í einhverju sem hún skildi að var draumur en komst ekki út, gat ekki vaknað. Hún fálmaði út í myrkrið, reyndi að búa til holu til að hleypa birtunni inn í hólfið sitt, en myrkrið var slímkennt. Hún krafsaði í það, en það hljóp alltaf undan og hún náði engu taki. Skyndilega sporristist rúmið og hún rann eftir slímugri rennibraut sem tók engan enda. Niður, niður, niður þar til hún skall harkalega á kaldan blett. Slímið var í augunum en henni tókst að opna rifu. Nú greindi hún örlitla birtu lengra í burtu. Ljósa ræmu undan hurð. Satche, Satche. Thank you.
And now it's my turn. Hi, Solveig. The bed arched, twisting and stretching like thin rubber. Her body was pulled tight as a bowstring until the bed became a deep valley. She lost her grip and tumbled deep into the darkness that enveloped her. Sadji was held inside something beyond her understanding, a dream she couldn't escape. Unable to wake herself, she reached into the darkness, trying to claw a gap that would let the light into this chamber, but the darkness was slippery. She scratched at it, but it retreated from her and she was unable to get a grip. Suddenly the bed was upended and she slid down a slimy track that seemed to have no end, down and further down, until she crashed hard against cold rock. The slime was in her eyes, but she managed to prise them open a crack. Now she could make out a trace of brightness in the distance, a crack of light beneath the door. Sadji, Sadji. There you go.
Oh, thank you so much, Solveig and Quentin, for bringing us people's comments. It's wonderful just to hear the original language and then hear Quentin's amazing translation from the translator himself. So, Kelly, I wonder, would you do us your magical power honours with the technology? And I wonder if you could bring on author and translator together.
Hi, Solveig.
Hi, Quentin. Good to see you.
And you. Nice to see you.
Thank you for your reading and for
Thank
your
you.
fabulous translation.
You're happy with it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we were supposed to talk about the translation process, but there isn't much to say, really, is there? Because it was so easy.
Yeah. I think it was one phone call and two Skype meetings or so.
2 Skype meetings and a few emails, and that was it.
Yes, that was all.
Yeah, it was very easy. Yeah.
Because you understand Icelandic soul, the Icelandic soul so well.
I think I understand you. We have so much in common, yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we
But
do.
it's a lovely book, and it was a pleasure to work on. At last.
Thank you.
Yeah.
At last, yes.
But there were no real headaches there, were there?
No.
Hmm.
I can't remember one, because I had 2 of my works translated into German.
Yep.
And there were emails every week, I think, because there were so many things she didn't understand about,
Right, okay.
I'm not going to take examples, but you have it because you lived here. You just
Well, I also
have it. Yeah.
I also have this knowledge bank living here with me.
Yes, I know.
So if I get stuck, I think, what does this mean?
I could.
She is here somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And of course, we do have we have this stack of paper as well at the moment.
Yes, shekels.
This is Shackles. We're about a third through it so far.
Wow, good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
So we're making progress on.
Yeah, and there's so far it's only been one small thing about names. You sent me an email because of one small. We had to add another name to the name because otherwise it would be a bit confusing.
Yeah,
for
you have
English
two names
readers.
that start with the same initial.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a great idea. So we'll just.
No.
But yeah, Guðgeir and Guðrún is a little bit too close. They're too close to each. Too many Guð names.
Yeah, especially for foreigners. So
yeah. Does the language present any unusual challenges? Is that not really? No. No, there were no huge challenges with this one. It was just fun to work on because it's such an interesting story and it's so different as well. Yeah. It's really not your run-of-the-mill police procedural at all.
I think. Thank you. I think, Quentin, that it helps a lot that you used to live in a small village in Iceland. You lived there for many years. So
in the Westfjords, where people are tough and resilient.
Exactly. Yeah. So you know this atmosphere. It's this atmosphere. Atmosphere is very common to you, and you. I think in your translation you managed to, bring it through.
You get the feel for it. Yeah.
Yes, you get the feel for it.
It's harder to get the feel for Reykjavik.
Yes.
Because I've translated other people's books as well that are set in Reykjavik, and it's because I never lived in Reykjavik.
Okay, yeah.
I've been there many times and spent a lot of time there, but I never actually lived in Reykjavik, so it's a little bit harder to get the feel for it.
Okay.
But,
and Shackles happens mostly in Reykjavik. Takes place in Reykjavik. Yeah.
And interesting to see some of the characters from the Fox turn up. Yeah. We don't want to drop any spoilers here, but there's a certain victim who makes a surprise appearance.
Because this the woman you're talking about, she only appears in like half a page in the Fox.
Yeah, she just makes a fleeting appearance in the Fox. She's a background character.
Yeah. But she stayed here, in my mind.
Yeah, I got the feeling that she was a bit important to you.
Yeah. And then her story started to take.
Was this something you already had in mind when you started writing when you were writing the Fox, that you were going to use her again later?
No.
Okay.
But I had a stronger feeling for this background character than others, if you understand.
Yeah, I know exactly
what I mean. Yeah. Characters that come and go. Some you can't even remember the names of the background characters. Few books. If you read three books, you forget them.
Yeah.
But this character stayed, in my mind, and I knew I was going to do something more with her.
Because you don't just throw in background characters, and they're not throwaway characters. They are fully fleshed. They're fully formed characters.
For this book, the book you're writing, but then you write other books, and many of them just fade away. But this character stayed with me because I knew I wanted to write more about her.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm wondering where she came from. Is this a story that stuck with you? That's something you read or knew or discovered, or?
She was in the picture with Þormóður.
Yes.
The character. And she took such a huge. She took her place there. She was
Yeah,
just so big. Yeah.
she took an enormous emotional hit.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
But we're giving, this is a teaser now because nobody knows who we're actually talking about.
No, we should talk about the fox.
We should talk about the fox, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jackie's asked all my questions.
Yeah. But it's like now your mind is set on shackles because the fox is out.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
done.
it?
Yes,
It's done. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So the character that stuck with me was the old guy in the flat that Guðgeir and Cyrus went to visit.
In Snorrabraut in
That's
Reykjavik.
what a bit, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Yeah.
I wanted to know what's his back. I wanted more of his story and his backstory and where he came from. And then, of course, then he was gone and he never returned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is what I mean about your background characters being much more developed than you would normally expect.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
They're
That's
not there
good
just
thing.
for a couple of seconds and gone like they are in other stories.
No, maybe it comes from my theatrical experience, and I used to work in a theater.
Yeah.
Where you have to have this picture of the character complete.
Right.
Even though it only appears for a moment, you have to make sense of what you're doing. And I think I take that with me into my writing.
Okay.
Because I'm trained to do that. So I have to know a lot about every character.
So you need to have a deeper understanding of the character in the background.
Yes. I need to know how he or she, picks up a coffee cup or walks, or I need this physical thing.
Yeah.
And why, if somebody limps, why does he do that? He or she do that? Why? Like this guy, he's very lonely.
Yes, that was obvious.
Yes. But once he had a good life.
But not anymore, poor guy.
Not anymore, no. He is like a prisoner.
Yeah. And of course, the two Chinese women in the basement as well. They were.
Yes.
But they hardly make an appearance. They were very shadowy characters.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but like I said, unfortunately, Jackie's asked all the questions I was going to ask. So. But I have no questions yet as far as the next book goes. I'm quite happy with everything so far.
Great. Don't hesitate to
no
me.
gaps there yet.
Yeah.
I am so sorry that Quentin, that I took your questions. I am a bad girl. I did not mean to. I am really sorry.
No, that's okay.
It just shows that good great minds, maybe, or the fact that we're on the same wavelength with Solveig. Yeah,
I think we must be. Yeah.
Yeah. Quentin, I just want to say, thank you so much for all your hard work and the amount of work that you do to bring, it's not just Solveig's work that you translate. You are prolific in what you do, and I want to say thank you so much. And yeah, and thank you for being with us tonight as well. I am a little bit aware of time, and I wonder, would it be okay if we bring on our next guest? Is that all right?
We need to hand over to Nordic Noir Buzz Superwoman Miriam.
We do indeed. So, Quentin, I'll see you in the green room, and we'll let Miriam have Solveig. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we'll leave you to it.
Okay. Hi, Solveig. Hi, everybody who's watching. Congratulations, Solveig.
Thank you.
We were waiting for this book for a long time, 6 years or so.
Wow.
To read your work since we came to Iceland the first time.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, no problem. Can you tell me a little bit about the symbolism of the fox in Iceland? Because I read on somewhere that it was the only mammal living in Iceland before the Vikings came, and
That's
it's
true.
like
That's
very
true.
important to the economy in the early days of Iceland.
Okay. I
Lots
didn't
of yeah, the thing that I read said that the fur trade and even people used to eat them if there was nothing else to eat.
Okay.
So what would a typical Icelander think about a fox? Because it's, in English we kind of think of a sly fox, a clever
Yeah.
animal. Is it the same
Yeah.
in Iceland?
No, because you never see foxes in, you know, you hardly ever see them where people live, you know, never in towns,
Ah,
and they're very, they are a rare sight out in the country too, because
right.
this is the Arctic fox.
Hmm.
It's a shy animal, and they run very fast. But uh, I think the symbolism is that they are free, they're free and they're very strong and they just want to be left alone.
Hmm.
But uh, people were hunting them for years because of just to protecting their sheeps. The farmers were protecting their sheeps, and but of course the fox was just trying to live
Yeah.
and make a living, and I think that in the fox in the book, uh, the fox is captured, and that's the symbolism, this free animal, this free spirit, this uh, animal that has survived for hundreds of years in
Yeah.
this hard country. You understand? I don't want to
Yeah,
say anything
absolutely.
that spoils for
Yeah.
for other readers, but and is this it's a very beautiful. The Arctic fox is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful creature. And just
Yeah.
talking about, the cruelest of all animals is the man. We are the cruelest. Help me a little bit.
Yeah. The
The most
cruelest.
cruel, the most
Yeah. Yeah.
cruel
Yeah.
animal in the
Yeah.
universe, in
Yeah.
the world, on the planet
Yeah.
Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. And that
So,
comes over so strongly in the story as well,
yeah,
doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
What
yeah.
What do you want the readers of The Fox to take away from that story?
The last chapter. The last chapter. I'm not going to say any spoilers, but yeah, I can't. Yeah, there is hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
When you write, do you like your stories to have a solid ending? I was at the launch for Ragnar's latest book, Winter Kill, and
yeah,
he was talking how he likes his stories to be, you know, totally kind of complete,
yeah.
that kind of Agatha Christie solid ending.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
do you
yeah.
feel like that as well about your books?
No, but I want to have every tie, you know, together. I
Hmm.
want to, tie all the, what's the word?
All the
All
loose
the
ends.
loose ended. Thank
Yeah,
you. Not
yeah,
difficult. All the loose ends together. I try to do that, of course,
yeah,
but I want to leave the readers with more to think about, because I believe that the you as an author, I don't want to spoil or ruin in any way the imagination of the reader. You see, when you read the book, you get, your mind starts to create. And I want that to keep on going,
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, what will happen next? So
Yeah.
do I?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. You're making
is that
yourself
okay?
clear. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I've got just two more questions. So people here might or might not know that in Iceland at Christmas it's traditional to give a gift of a book to people. So
Mm-hmm.
I wondered, what book do you hope to receive at Christmas? And who are your influences? What do you enjoy to read?
At Christmas,
Yeah.
I read a lot of poems.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I do. But on my table, I have, I already started to buy books. And you're talking about the Christmas floods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
flood, yeah. And now, in this time of COVID, people read more than ever, I think. And I think there are many, many families who are going to do this old and good tradition just to give books.
Yeah.
Now everybody get books for Christmas. I just brought these three, oops,
Okay.
today. So I have a lot to look forward to. And then this is my new book here. It's not a crime fiction,
Okay.
it's a memoir,
Okay.
and it takes place in Hornafjörður, where the fox takes place. But this is a very beautiful one
Mm-hmm.
and funny and
Right. Okay.
good-hearted, because
Okay.
I stayed there every summer for 6 years, and with very good people and intelligent people with a very strong feeling for the animals, the nature, and the hidden people. They believed
Mm-hmm.
in the hidden people, which
Okay.
is a way of protecting the nature. You you, the children are told not to disturb the hidden people.
Okay.
Go way up to the rocks and the don't. It's so they won't, destroy the moss.
Mm-hmm.
So all these stories about hidden people, they are in a way just a way to protect the nature.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is my book for this Christmas. So
Okay.
yeah, there's a
And
lot of books that I would like to read.
are
The
all the book flood things, are they all cancelled because of COVID, or are they happening?
the launches are digital, on the
Mm-hmm.
computers like stream, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of panels and discussing, and sometimes I go to the places, and maybe there are 4 or 5 authors
Okay.
sitting with 2 meters distance,
Okay.
and
Right.
a moderator,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on stream,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a nice one. It's because I've been busy, but yes, it's been okay, and I think the publishers are, yeah, rather happy this year.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
Good.
so. I think
And
so.
when
But
does when does your next book in English come out?
next year,
Next year? And is
yes,
that the how does it go in the sequence?
the next one after the fox,
Mm-hmm.
fjötrar in Icelandic, shackles in
Okay.
English. So
Okay.
this is the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you writing more in that series in Icelandic?
Yeah, just started.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if people want to start to read a series of books, then this is a good one.
Okay, but there were 3 of them before the fox, the actor. Oops, I'm always like this. And then it was the righteous one. It's a little bit about whale hunting.
Oh, okay.
And then Fleckless, it's called Pure in English.
Okay.
But the first 2 have been translated into German, but none of them into English. The Fox is the first in English.
Okay.
So
great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Should we bring Jackie back?
Yeah.
I think we're about finished.
Miriam, such an thank you for your questions. I mean, it's so lovely to actually sit back and listen, to other people in conversation. It's such a treat rather than, whilst it's lovely to interview an author, it's actually just really nice to sit and listen. So really appreciate you being part of this evening.
Thanks for asking me.
A total pleasure, because I think, the joy and what Icelandic noir means to you. I think for us to be able to share that together, to have had Quentin in, the translator that's brought us this joy. Casey Moy, is The Fox a standalone book? It is part of a series, Casey, but you can read it in its entirety. It's really good. Solvi fills in enough of backstory without giving backstory too much away. So seriously, it is a satisfying read as it is. Definitely. And Leanne asks, are there plans to translate the earlier books into English? Let's just fingers crossed. There's 2, if The Fox and Shackles, if they go well, then I'm sure we'll get the start of Guthgeir's story as well, definitely. But again, just to reiterate that to midnight tonight on Amazon, The Fox is down to 99p. In ebook, I'm sorry, it's only there in ebook, but honestly, it's a total treat. And at that price,
get it.
Why not have that as everybody who likes to follow that Icelandic tradition, have that as your Christmas book flood read, and be there in Iceland with the magic that Solveig and Quentin bring us. Nothing finer.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Except if we were all in a bar.
All there together. And Susie asked me. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, but because he said bar and mentioned bar, I really would like to. Oh, I miss Iceland noir. Yeah. But
totally.
There was a huge thing in Iceland today because the swimming pools got reopened.
Oh.
And the swimming pools, they are like a bar to you. In the UK, the bars to you. They are the social where you meet people, where that's the social point where you meet everybody.
Totally.
And we go swimming every day. So that's a good thing.
And little by little, we will be getting there. And I know there's been lots of people with us this evening who are huge fans of Iceland Noir, who had booked purposefully to come this year, people who'd been before, new people who were going to be going to the festival. And I know we hold that in our hearts so that we can return in 2021 and we'll be able to celebrate there in real life with all those fabulous Icelandic authors. It just remains for me now to thank everybody who's been with us tonight, people who've sent in their questions, people who've been watching. Miriam, thank you to you and to Quentin for being part of this. Thank you to Kelly for holding us all together and keeping us all in space, which is fabulous. And lastly, Solveig Polsdotter, for your fabulous writing. Thank you so much that we can now enjoy that with you. Yeah?
Thank you.
Wonderful. So good night to everyone. Until we meet again, happy reading and happy crime fiction reading.